Lucy from The Local, and today we are filming our Mighty Meals series, and we will be showing you how to cook sloppy joes. All right, and this is our 5 simple ingredients sloppy joes. So we have onions, peppers, tomatoes, sauce, and ground beef. And if you don't have the canned sauce, we can quickly make our own with a little ketchup, mustard, salt and pepper, and garlic powder. Okay, and then we're gonna start with the onion then. And I like to do it, we just cut the top off and then we cut it in half, and I'll show you 2 different ways. My favorite way of doing it is to cut the bottom off. You wanna take that top layer off that'll slip and have the skin on. So for cutting this way, it's already in layers, so all you have to do is cut lengthways like that. Sometimes your onion does not want to work with you. It's fine, it happens. And then if we cut this way, and you get nice diced onions, just go back and cut that. Or if that seems too finicky, then we'll keep the bottom core part on right there. And then we just cut our this way. Not through the core there, and then when you dice down that way, then you get all of your diced onions there. All right, and now we have the pepper. So I find the easiest way to cut the pepper is strip that way and then cut all the way around and then the bottom off. Now, some people leave these white piths on. This part seems to be really bitter to me, so if you cut it off, it's a bit nicer flavor. And in hot peppers, that is where all your heat lives. So then we just want to do a nice dice. So slice this way first, and then just a quick dice like that. Whatever size you like, it can be big, small. If you like it chunky, that's good too. Right, and now we have our tomato that we'd like to dice. So I just like to cut it in big chunks this way. You can use a serrated knife. It might help make that a bit easier if your tomato's really soft. This one's good and firm, so it cuts fine. Then when you get to your middle part, you can just cut your core out like that. Okay. And then again, we just want to dice it like our onions and peppers. Tomatoes will break down a bit easier, so you don't have to be as fine with your dicing skills on this part. Nice and chunky, that'll cook right into your sauce and just give you some extra body there. So now that we have everything prepped, we can start cooking. It's really great to prep this ahead of time. You can do it on the weekend if you want to get ready for the busy week. You can do it the morning before, or you can do it right before you cook. All right, so we're gonna start by putting a bit of oil in our pan. Always essential to have that. And then we're gonna cook our onions and peppers first. These little scrapers you can get from the dollar store make cooking so much easier and faster to scoop up your food like this as well. Okay. And we want to cook those until the onions are just translucent, and then we will add our ground beef. Okay. All right, so we're going to add our salt and pepper. We like to cook our veggies without the salt and pepper first because all the liquid will come out of your onions and you'll just have a watery mess.
So you wait till it's translucent, which is this is basically
this stage is where it's translucent, and at this point we season it. If we season it when we first put it in, the water in the natural bits of water in the onion will come out and it'll be soupy more than cooked. So at this point, we're going to add our ground beef. Any ground beef, lean, medium that you get from your grocery store, you just want a pound of that. And break it up there with your spoon. And then we're going to want to add salt and pepper to our ground beef now as well. As much or as little as you like. I like to salt liberally. All right, and then we're just going to cook this until the ground beef is all brown. All right, so you can just use a can of your Sloppy Joe sauce from your regular grocery store. If you don't happen to have those on hand, a few simple ingredients at home, your ketchup, mustard, garlic powder, and a little salt and pepper. All we have to do is mix this together and you have a super quick homemade Sloppy Joe sauce. There you go. All right, so this is the point where you want your ground beef. You want to cook it until it starts to get brown and crispy on the outside and reabsorbs all the fat. Instead of draining your meat, just cook it that extra 5 more minutes and you get way more flavor out of it. So at this stage is where we want to add our tomatoes and our sauce. So we're just gonna put those in there, into our sauce. Try to get as much as you can out of that can. And then what I usually do at this point is get some water in that can, flush it all out about halfway, add it to the pot, and that will help your cooking process. It'll be a bit watery at first, and we're just gonna cook it down, let it go for a good 15 minutes or so, and it'll turn into a nice thick sauce. All right, and you should be cooking this at about a medium heat. When it starts to bubble, then we'll turn it down to low and let it simmer until it's fully cooked. Okay, and this is what your Sloppy Joes should look like after about 15 minutes or so of cooking. All your tomatoes have broken down, you have a nice hearty sauce. So then we're ready to plate. Just grab our buns, scoop as much as you like on there. It's a Sloppy Joe, let's get real sloppy with it there. And there you have it. Now if you don't have buns, you can always toss your Sloppy Joe mix with spaghetti, you can top it with rice, or a little fun thing to do is also toast your buns with maybe a little garlic butter and you have some fancy Sloppy Joes there.